Yeah, to everyone, this is Kelvin. I'm going to be talking about my 2023 favorite Doom albums. So, I'm a big Doom fan. When I made a list of my favorite albums monthly, I did notice I do listen to a lot of Doom, and so there's a lot of good albums that I really enjoyed. I didn't want to leave off just because some of these albums, you can't really fit in the death metal category or the heavy metal category. So, I just wanted to do a list of just Doom albums. And so, like the other, previous videos, I'll do a couple honorable mentions, and then I'll do like a top 10 favorite albums. So, the music I'm playing in the background is Paul Bearer, Forgotten Days. So this is one of my favorite Doom albums of 2020. So that'll be playing in the background. So let's get started with the honorable mentions. First honorable mention is Ahab, the Coral Tombs. So Ahab is a German Doom band, and I believe this is their 5th album, the Coral Tombs. So I'm familiar with Ahab. I've listened to their first album, The Call of the Wretched Sea, and so been aware of the band. But I noticed that a lot of album collectors on Instagram were posting the album, so I had to check it out. Definitely a good album. Definitely check it out if you're, I would say, more of a Death Doom fan. So that's Ahab, the Coral Tombs. Check it out. And then the next one, I don't have the physical copy. It's Altars of the Moon, the Colossus and the Widow. So this album got sent to me, emailed to me. It's like a sludge doom project with members of Uada, Chrome Waves, Black Dahlia Murder, and so. Yeah, it's really, really cool album. Relies more on the sludge side. But yeah, definitely enjoyable album. If you can, check it out. I believe you can stream it. So that's Altars of the Moon, the Colossus, and the Widow. My next honorable mention is Choir, Songs for a Tarnished World. So I got the record right here. So this was actually released in 2021 and was actually pressed on vinyl this year, 2023. So that's why I'm listing it as an honorable mention. So Choir, Songs for a Tarnished World. This is I would say Death Doom with a lot of noise influence. And yeah, this is just really harsh album. If you're a fan of Primitive Man, you got to check it out. It was repressed by Total Dissonance Worship Records. Here's the vinyl if you're watching. Yeah, if this album was released as a 2023 release, I would have definitely put it on the top 10. Check it out, Choir. My next honorable mention is Full of Hell and the Primitive Man Split, Suffocating Hallucinations. So I should have included this in my favorite EPs, splits, demos list, but I just forgot about it. But this is Full of Hell and Primitive Man. It's kind of cool. You got to check it out. They actually play music together, so it sounds like both bands playing together at the same time. Really cool. Definitely, it hits both bands sound and would satisfy both bands fans. And I got the red and silver vinyl. And my last honorable mention is Sorcerer, Reign of the Reaper. I got the CD right here. So this is the 4th album from Sorcerer. So Sorcerer is a epic Swedish doom band. I would say, if you're a fan of like Black Sabbath, like Candlemass, Saint Vitus, you'll definitely dig this album. I would say it's a good album. You know, the vocals are really cool, the guitar solos are cool, but you know, there are some albums that I enjoyed a little bit more than this one. But check it out if you're a fan of like those bands, you know, Candlemass, Saint Vitus, Pentagram. All right, so that's my honorable mentions. I'm gonna go ahead and get into my top 10 favorite Doom albums. Starting with number 10, Mourn, Engraved with Pain. So this is the fifth album from Mourn, which Mourn is a post-metal doom band from Boston, Massachusetts. I would say this album leans more on the post-metal side than, you know, traditional like doom metal. Yeah, it just has a dark sound. I mean, if you look at this album cover, I have the CD right here. It's just a dark sounding album, and the tone of the album, you know, the guitar tones, it's just a dark album. I would say there's almost like a atmospheric black metal kind of influence to this album. It would be like an atmospheric black metal band playing like just like crushing doom metal. But yeah, if you could see, there's only 4 songs, 40 minutes. Yeah, each song is about, you know, I think like 10 minutes. I think the third song is like 8 minutes. But yeah, definitely requires like a good attention span here. Yeah, I think track 3, Wretched Empire, definitely reminds me of a lot of post-metal bands like, you know, Downfall of Gaia and Nero de Marte or Panzerfaust. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Definitely check out Mourn, Engraved with Pain. All right, number 9, I have the vinyl right here, Ugly, with their album Autograph. This came out through Satanic Royalty Records. So Ugly is a doom sludge with noise band out of Prescott, Arizona. This is their second full-length album, and this is actually my first time listening to the band. And my first impression of Ugly is that it's just a very abrasive, it's loud, very unsettling. I would say if you're a fan of bands such as like Indian, Primitive Man, Swans, there's even moments that remind me of Tool. Yeah, but really good album. Definitely check it out and support the Arizona scene. You know, I love supporting the Arizona bands, so yeah, check out Ugly, Autograph. All right, number 8 is gonna be Body Void. Atrocity Machine came out through Prosthetic Records. This is the 4th album by the US doom noise band Body Void, and I believe members are from Vermont. So I did check out their previous album, the 2021 album, Bury Me Beneath the Rotting Earth. So I was familiar with the band, so when I saw they released the new album, I definitely checked it out. I would say this has a lot of noise influence. I would say like the noise, combining the noise influence, the harsh like screeching vocals, and just like the really like distorted like doom metal really just creates a like almost like disturbing, like unsettling feeling. Yeah, this is just like a really heavy album, and I mentioned Primitive Man already, but yeah, Primitive Man is really like giving a lot of these bands a lot of influence. But yeah, check them out. Body Void, Atrocity Machine. Alright, number 7 is Savior Skin, and the album is Invicta Mori, and this came out through Horror Pain Gore Death Promotions, and this is their 3rd album. And Savior Skin, if you're not familiar, they're I would say gothic, like death doom band from Houston, Texas, and I would say this album like definitely has a lot of like Typo Negative influence, mainly in the vocals. There's a lot of deep vocals that's reminiscent of Peter Steele, and then the deep vocals is also like intertwined with like death metal growls. There's a band called November's Doom. If you're familiar with November's Doom, they definitely remind me of them. But yeah, check them out if you're into like, you know, Typo Negative or, you know, gothic type of bands. Yeah, Savior Skin, Invicta Mori. All right, number 6. I would say like if you're like just a diehard Doom fan, this is like the final boss of all Doom albums of 2023. This is Bell Witch, Future Shadows Part 1, The Clandestine Gate. This is the I believe it's their 4th album, and this came out through Profound Lore Records. If you're not familiar with Bell Witch, they are a 2-man like funeral doom band from Seattle, Washington. And the crazy thing about Bell Witch is that it's a 2-man band, and you know it's guitar. It's a bass guitar, not like electric guitar. It's a bass guitar with drums and like keyboards. It's yeah, very like stripped down funeral doom. This is their follow-up to the 2017 album Mirror Reaper, which that album Mirror Reaper got like just universal praise, and so they had a lot to, you know, they had a lot of expectation going into this album. So yeah, it's crushing. It's 83 minutes of just like crushing funeral doom. Yeah, definitely listen to it if you have like a long drive planned ahead. It's a really challenging listen. Definitely listen to it if you have like 80 minutes like dedicated. I got the vinyl here. I got the black vinyl. So yeah, again, Profound Lore Records, like nothing but the best from Profound Lore Records. Okay, number 5, I got Fires in the Distance, Air Not Meant for Us. This is the 2nd album from Fires in the Distance, and this album came out through Prosthetic Records. This is melodic death doom metal, and Fires in the Distance, they are from Connecticut. So yeah, this album has a lot of melody, with a lot more orchestral compositions compared to the first album. And yeah, just like the orchestral like aspect of the album definitely makes it a much more gloomier album than their previous Echoes of Deep November, which came out in 2020. Yeah, if you're a fan of like Dark Tranquillity or Insomnium, Those like very melodic death metal albums from or death metal bands from Sweden or Finland, you'll really enjoy Fires in the Distance. I was a big fan of the 2020 album Echoes of Deep November, so I was really looking forward to this album. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, Fires in the Distance was actually like the first major label band I ever talked to. So yeah, nothing but respect for Fires in the Distance for talking with me. And this is a really great album. Number 5 on my list, Air Not Meant For Us by Fires in the Distance. All right, my number 4 album, Godthryme, Distortions. This is the second album from Godthryme, and the album came out through Profound Lore Records. So this is epic doom from the United Kingdom. If you're a fan of bands like Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride, you will definitely enjoy this Godthryme album. One thing that really stands out on this album is the vocals. I really dig the vocals. They remind me of like Alice in Chains, the way Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell like harmonize like the choruses. Let's see. If you're gonna check out the album, check out the second track, Devils. It has a lot of those like harmonizing vocals that reminiscent of Alice in Chains. I did a podcast with interview with their guitarist and vocalist Hamish Glencross. So yeah, definitely check them out. Much respect for them for talking with me. All right, my number 3 Doom album, Mariana's Rest, Hour. This came out through Napalm Records. So Mariana's Rest are from Finland and formed in 2013. So, they're fairly new. They're 10 years in existence. And they play like very like melancholic, like depressive style of like melodic death doom metal. And if you've heard bands like Swallow the Sun or Insomnium, you will enjoy Mariana's Rest. So this is their 4th album, and it was my introduction to the band. And I received like an email, like a press release email to check out the album. And so I went ahead and checked it out, and I was just amazed. I was like blown away like of how melodic this album is. They have a way of like creating like very like melodic like keyboard riffs, and then they overlay that with like just the harsh like death growls. There's a lot of moments that I really enjoy, like on the songs Diseased and White Cradle. I really enjoy this. I really hope everyone check this out. I talked with their vocalist Yako Mantiyama on a podcast, and I was just like very very appreciative for them taking time to talk with me. So check out Mariana's Rest, Hour. My number 2 favorite Doom album. So this one I wouldn't consider like traditional Doom metal. I would say it's more like Doom adjacent, almost like acoustic Doom, if you will. This is The Keening, Little Bird. This is the first album from The Keening, which was released through Relapse Records. So, like I said, this isn't straightforward doom metal. This is more, I would say, like doom adjacent. If you're familiar with the band Sub Rosa, you have to check out this album. This is the vocalist of Sub Rosa, Rebecca Vernon, her solo project. So yeah, you have to check this out if you are, or if you are any way familiar with the band Sub Rosa, you need to check this album out. I'm a huge Sub Rosa fan. I still listen to Sub Rosa's album More Constant Than the Gods, like on a regular basis. Like, this is just like, Sub Rosa was just an amazing doom band, which I believe they broke up like in 2019. So yeah, to hear Rebecca Vernon, her voice on new music in 2023 was just like a gift to my ears. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Sub Rosa, you know, they were like a death doom metal band from like Salt Lake City, and I believe a lot of the members were like gay, lesbian, and were like former members of like the Mormon Church. So I mean, just that right there for me, just, you know, I have full support for like Sub Rosa and any music that comes from members from the band Sub Rosa. But yeah, this is just like really like slow, melodic, acoustic music. So Rebecca Vernon, she has like a very like haunting, like just very amazing like vocals. And so yeah, this basically is like a Sub Rosa album, but, you know, without like the electrical guitar or electric bass. There are some heavy moments and heavy like cello and piano riffs, especially on the last two tracks, The Hunter 2 and The Truth. Yeah, honestly, if you've heard of Sub Rosa, or, you know, even just like seeing the album cover or the name in passing, you gotta check this album out. It's really different. It's almost like a palate cleanse, you know, of all the heavy music that's coming out this year. This will, like, you know, just cleanse your palate and, you know, make you appreciate, like, you know, just like all the other like music that's been coming out this year. But yeah, this is my number 2 favorite album, The Keening, Little Bird. Definitely check them out. All right, my number 1 Doom album is Tribunal, The Weight of Remembrance. This is the debut first full-length album by Tribunal, and this came out through 20 Bucks Spin. So Tribunal is a Doom band from Vancouver, British Columbia. I would say they're more on the death doom side. So they have like a dual vocals. You know, there is like some death metal growls, and then there's also some like dark, like female like vocals. I would say this album really like complements the Keening album that I just talked about, just because they remind me a lot of like Sub Rosa, just with their vocalist. And yeah, so again, they do have like that like dual like death metal like clean like gothic vocals, which is really cool. I really enjoy it. So yeah, this album came out earlier this year in January, so I had a lot of time to kind of listen to it. And to be honest, I really connected to this album when it came out, just because you know, I have a 1-year-old son who was born like, you know, not long before this album came out. And so when my son was born, you know, he was born with like some a heart defect. And so like I spent a lot of time like driving to Flagstaff to get his cardiology appointments like set up. And, you know, so whenever I would drive in the heavy snow to Flagstaff, for my son's cardiology appointments, I would have Tribunal's album playing. And so I think for that, I really connected with this album, and I really enjoyed this album, which is why it's my favorite Doom album of 2023. Yeah, I hope everyone gets a chance to check out some of these albums. If you're not a Doom fan, I would say just give it a chance. I'm going to do another best of list of my top 10, like across the board favorite albums. So be sure to check that out. All right. Yeah, thank you.